Welcome to the Uncle Jimmy and Cousin Donnie show, sponsored by the Beacon Tap Signature Transportation Group and Mob and Dad Water. Cousin Donnie, how are you tonight?
Just jumping right into it, Jim. No countdown at all. You can't even let the people get the countdown and everything. It's okay. No problem at all.
No,
Welcome to the show, everybody. Excited to be a part of it on this, Wednesday night before the tournament?
that is correct. It is Wednesday night. We have the North-South starting tomorrow, which is going to be, I think, a pretty fun weekend.
Yep.
The draw came out yesterday. I think it's going to be quite impressive, some of the games and matchups that are going to happen this weekend.
Agreed. I agree. I look forward to this one. It's at Genera Park. I was born and raised over by Genera Park by McNeil Hospital in Berwyn, so right down the block from where I grew up. Some really good opening round matchups that we'll talk about. We'll also talk about a very entertaining weekend with Team Jagoff. So very happy to be a part of that, Jim. We had a lot of fun. Congrats to the Hall of Fame team for winning the Joe Court Clincher Classic. I think they went clean. I don't think they lost the game the whole weekend.
I think their closest game was to Team Jagoff. We were beating
They also, my guy TJ came through and got me a Hall of Fame hat. So to give a huge shout out to those guys for supplying.
We were beating them the whole weekend, Donnie.
What'd you say?
We were beating them the whole game until what, the sixth inning?
Sixth inning, Aaron hit a homer off me. That sucked.
Yeah. It was a sad moment.
Aaron Hauser went yard in the sixth inning, 2-run homer on a pitch with 2 strikes, where he had already made up his mind to go to left center, and then he saw the pitch was inside and said, "I'm gonna hit this one out of the park," and he did. He cleared the fence. But a great weekend for those guys, and they're big fans of us out there. They watch our show a lot, so I know they're watching right now. And a huge congrats and a thank you to the great guys of Hall of Fame for hosting such a cool event too, with having us out at the fields and everything. So I did a stream with Sam Rogers, and it was a good time. So what do you got?
Well, before I get into the Iowa guys and the MVP of the tournament, right, which some may differ on who the MVP was if you talk to the Chucks guys compared to the Hall of Fame guys, right? So we'll get into that in a minute. But happy haircut day, Cousin Donnie.
How about that? Isn't that both of us, Jim?
Both of us on the same day.
That's beautiful. I went to Mago's Styling Cave today and got Joel with little mid fade.
Did Gio do the interview with you?
No, Joel and I did have a conversation though.
Oh, did he record it?
Yeah. So I'm curious to see if it's going to get posted. What are you drinking? Was that an apple juice?
This is a reduced sugar apple juice.
Why are you drinking that? Yeah, we had a conversation. It was recorded. It was a good time. I'm curious to see if it gets posted. I really hope it does.
Yeah, I'll take a shot and say 100-1, no chance.
You don't think so?
No chance.
Robert Cresano says "moo" in reference to our guy Al Rice.
Mr.
That's
Moo
a great
himself.
reference. JP says MVP was the hotel wall.
So that leads me in to the first topic of the weekend before I get into the Hall of Fame and the Chuck guys and those guys. I believe somebody posted the picture on our post today of the wall.
Yeah. Of a certain wall.
So the wall is the famous wall in Iowa. And we did pay for the repairs. Just throw it out there. Rob, our captain paid for it. He and Mr. Jake McTeague were having a little fun in the hallway, and it wasn't even serious. And 2 large men went into that wall barely, and the wall folded. So
the wall crumbled like it was hit by a cannonball.
Oh, and honestly, they did not hit it very hard.
No.
So,
man, so funny. I thought it was hilarious.
So where the moo comes from, we're in the car on the way there. Al Rice says, when cows lay down, we know bad weather's on the way.
He was convinced. He was like, uh-oh, guys, cows are sitting down. They're laying down. We're like, what are you talking about, Al? He was like, when they sit down, that means bad weather's coming.
Yeah,
And we're like,
bad weather.
Mickey looks at his phone. It was like 75 sunny, 85 sunny, 85 sunny. He's like, I don't think there's going to be any bad weather. So we had some fun with Al Rice this weekend.
Yeah, so we get out there. We made a video of Mickey.
We did.
We posted it on our page. So
it has, let me see if I can find how many views that video currently has.
I last I checked, between all the sites, it was over 12,000, almost on 13,000 views, roughly. I do know that on Facebook, I believe just on the Facebook page, it was roughly about 7,000 the last I saw, and that was 24 hours ago. So it could be more. Let's get to the crowd really quick, because I just saw your boy Joel Anthony join the feed.
Did he come?
No, he didn't. He's watching our show now. So we were just talking about his barbershop. We said happy haircut to cousin Donnie today. Rob Grisano, a lot of Team Jagoff members joining on the show tonight, trying to get some name recognition. Lane Neiman's on the show. Our boy Brian Sloan, as he calls himself, the new sheriff. JP, our boy Nick, Tommy Collette, Anthony Jones. The new sheriff lost the money line. The old sheriff never lost the money line. So,
Hold on now.
Cody, Jake McTeague. So, but he says, Don, you ugly, but he love you. That's from Anthony.
That's your boy Joel. That's my barber. How could you say that?
And then he said, I'm very handsome with a nice fade.
He said, Jim with a nice fade. I wouldn't push it. Donnie, who ended up being the captain? I believe it was Gardner Mann who ended up being the captain. What do you got there? Fruit punch, reduced sugar fruit punch.
The future sponsor of the Uncle Jimmy and Cousin Donnie show. So
fruit punch.
Fruit punch. So as we get into more about Iowa, you and I obviously live streamed one of the most boring games we've seen of the weekend. It was F-Town versus Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame.
It was a good game for about 5 innings, and then Hall of Fame kind of 3 home runs. It was really no scoring early on, so obviously no action makes it kind of boring. Kind of similar to our game against Hall of Fame. There was really no scoring. I think we got 1 in the first inning, and then after that we got another one somewhere down the road. It was not very pretty. What I told the Hall of Fame guys is, you guys stink and we stunk more. So at 3-2 game with the wind blown out. But congrats to them. Great weekend for them. There was a pretty confidential call in the Chucks game. If you know our guy Drew Ladick, he posted a nice picture of the umpire as the MVP for Hall of Fame this weekend. So props to him for having the balls to do that. I thought it was hysterical and pretty funny. We're all, we play this game to have fun and have humor. So it might upset some. Some others get a good laugh out of it. Either way, I think it's all fun, and I think the Hall of Fame guys know that. They're pretty decent guys when it comes to the jokes.
I noticed that after the tournament, even after their games against each other on Saturday, they still get together at the bar and hang out and laugh and hang out and have fun. And you could tell, I mean, even Drew was a great sport about it, was with those guys after the tournament was over, and then posted a picture of the umpire with their team, which was very funny. Really quick side note, my guy Nate Plum says, yo, Rick's coming, meaning Rick's, the team we played on Saturday night after Hall of Fame, will be coming to the B National tournament. He was linked up with Francisco Arenas, and it sounds like Rick's is going to come out and play a little ball in Chicago.
Yes, they are. So Francisco, myself, and Nate were on a call or text message today, and it looks like they got that all set up. So that's really cool to see. Good story about Team Jagoff. For those that don't know, we play $5 an out. Gardner, who was the captain this weekend with $70 paid. Scahill snuck out with 65. He was in the driver's seat all day. And man, last game caught him. But pretty good story after the first out with Man. He came up to me and gave me, I think it was $15 or $10, whatever it was. And he paid for his future out, which I don't think has been done in Team Jagoff history on the field. usually we collect after the game. He paid on the field when he made his first out, which is pretty funny. So for those that know Team Jagoff, it's pretty good. It's pretty funny. Incredible weekend for us. I know we laughs, the fun, everything that we had on that team this weekend was pretty.
Jimmy, you and I didn't pay a lot of money. You and I didn't have to pay a lot of money this weekend. We hit pretty good.
No, I only paid, I think, $25. I made 5 outs. So
yeah, I was right behind you with $35. I was pretty happy with how I hit, but it was great. Really quick side note before we move on, it was great playing with some different guys like KJ. Awesome to play with. I had a blast playing with Jazz, and man, I never get the chance to play with those guys. Isaiah Rosado from Splash, and some of the guys I never get a chance to hang out with and play with. It was wonderful to be out there with those guys. And Rob Scahill's another dude. I mean, what a guy he is. And then we made fun of Al Rice for 3 days in a row. So it was a good time. It was a good time.
It was awesome. KJ just joined the feed, so welcome, KJ. Obviously, Jeff Blackford joined the feed. Colton, Sam Rogers, Jake McTeague, Marty, Cody Johnson, Brian Sloan, James Logan,
Sheriff.
Cody, I said Cody Johnson. So a lot of guys are joining on here. So welcome to the Uncle Jimmy and Cousin Donnie show, sponsored by the Beacon Tab, Signature Transportation Group, and Mom and Dad Water. Donnie, anything else you want to talk about the weekend in Iowa that stood out to you?
Old Timers is awesome. I really enjoy going to Old Timers, and it's just a very cool, friendly environment, right? Chris says, any hotel stories? We already told the great ones. Chris, you have to rewind, and we didn't see a lot of the Pharaohs guys over there. I know they had a great weekend as well. I believe they also tied for 5th. So a decent showing from the Chicago teams.
Well, let me add to the hotel story before you get into what stood out for you for the weekend, because since you brought it up, you and I go to the front desk, right?
Yeah.
We talk to the host, and he shows us the video, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know. It doesn't quite look like our guy. It's not me. I look at you. It's not you. The guy's like, well, we know it's Team Jagoff, right? And I'm like, no, I don't think it is. And then he shows the video, and it's clear as day, right? And I try to put it off, and the guy's like, well, let's go around and show me the wall, right? Because I didn't see the wall. Show me the wall. So we bring him around back. You and I get in the car, and you go, man, that is clear as day. I go, oh, I know, it's clear as day. It is totally
Robbie,
guys.
Yeah. Robbie's wearing he had his Team Jagoff right across the front of his shirt. And of course, you, Jim, the people person that you are, you're like, it wasn't one of our guys. I don't think it was. No. It wasn't. It could have been one of our guys.
So but we go around.
100%.
We go around. He shows us the wall, and as we said, it wasn't due to any aggressiveness. It wasn't due to anyone fighting. It was all fun and games. They were having fun. And it just so happens that Robbie and Jake just kind of bumped into the wall together, and literally it didn't hit it hard. It was kind of like, oop, and the wall split. So we were trying to figure out the weight of Robbie and Jake combined. I think there was some over-unders of 565.
Yeah.
So put in the chat if you got the over or under on 565. Robbie claims he's 280. So. Yeah. Over under, let's see how many things. So the first 5 overs, we'll say over, obviously, over 260, 280, 265, 5 unders, right? So put it out there. But, so they touch the wall. So the guy comes around the corner. He shows us the wall. And you and I both look at each other and are like,
laughing.
Oh, my God. And then he's like, well, let me just call the cops. I'm like, well, no, hold on. Before we do that, what's it to repair? And what does he tell us?
He goes, it'll be, because you're like, yeah, we'll buy a new slab for you. We'll get it all taken care of. He's like, no, you know what? Just give us $400 and our maintenance crew will take care of it. And you're like this, done. Get the guy. I'll pay for it right now.
Sold. Hold on, Robbie, the guy that went through the walls right here. Let me go grab him, right?
Hey, wait, we'll just get him out of his room. We know him. We lied. Yeah, we know him. It's our guy.
It's our guy. So a lot of overs coming in.
But, McTeague said he's 275.
Well, that gives it away, right? So
do a little math.
Yeah. But so there's the story of the hole in the wall. Brady Fisher, I was way over Robbie's age, so I'm not even going to guess his weight. Okay? Good point. Brady, he had some fun with us in the bar on Saturday night. And old timers, you were getting into old timers. So back to you, Donnie. Yeah. That's the story about the hotel story. But getting back to you, what stood out for you?
Man, just the people that come up to us and really kind of watch the show and appreciate the show and know us and know me specifically, because I haven't been going down there very long. You've been going down there, longer than I have. But they come up to me, hey, Donnie, great to see you. Donnie, how are you? And I'm like, man, so hospitable and it's awesome. And I feel very welcomed when I'm there. But just kind of like I was saying, playing with different guys too. It was a good time to be able to play with a different group of people, a very different team than last year. I think Kyle said we got a ton of first timers, so that was great. Right. And, I will look forward to going back with Team Jagoff again.
Yep, I agree. I can't wait till next year. It's always a trip that we look forward to, and the hospitality. Jake Reynolds, our guy RB.
He's the best.
Old timer guy. I mean, they just literally open the doors and they take care of us the best they can. I mean, we didn't even close our tab on Friday night, and they're like, "Oh, don't worry, you'll be back tomorrow."
Yeah, just get it tomorrow, Jim. What did the tab end up being at Old Timers?
Well,
for 2 days,
I think it was $575.
There you go.
Yeah,
another over under. The same weight as Robbie and McKeague. You had more.
Yeah, it was $575, I think, the Team Jagoff tab. But you also got to remember, we did not get there late till Saturday night. We got there late. We had the late game. We didn't get out of the park till almost 11:30.
Could have been more.
So, yeah, it would have been a lot more. So, but one of the funniest videos with our boy Mickey at Jake Reynolds' place. That was awesome. That was a great, great time. So, looking forward to Iowa guys coming down this weekend. I know that we're at the North-South. We're in Berwyn. Why don't we you want to get into it a little bit? Talk a little bit?
So we've got the 22nd annual North-South Challenge presented by Danny Atkins, one of my favorite dudes in the game, at Genera Park this year, coming from the Schaumburg facility last year, so a whole new field. Jimmy, I'm going to run through the games, okay? And you won't comment on the 45s game. I won't comment on the signature game. You tell me we agree who's going to win.
Well,
go ahead.
I'm going to do this. We're going to do something. We're going to put lines on the games of what we feel is best. Let's talk a little bit about the teams, but at the same time.
We have a great comment from Rod Bailey, said, hope you felt welcome. Absolutely. That guy runs a wonderful establishment out there, and I would love to go there more often.
How about the poor girl at Jake's place that didn't know when she saw 7 hillbillies walk through the door?
She saw Mickey with his shirt off and was like, what the hell am I doing here?
The first day in their gym, I'm sure she left. There's no chance she renewed her membership. But there was no chance. Who did win the MVP of the tournament? I know it wasn't the umpire, but who actually did win? I didn't see it. Did you?
It was the left fielder from Hall of Fame. He batted 4 for them. He's got the kind of the longer, shaggy hair. His
did you get his name?
Starts with a D. I'll find it out in just a sec.
Maybe someone could post it in the chat. Well, congratulations to him for sure.
He is. I'll find it. Give me a sec. Nate says, is it haircut day? Yes, it is.
It was for the show, Nate. It was definitely for the show. Both Donnie actually called me. He's like, what are you doing? I'm getting a haircut. And he's like, really? I'm in a haircut chair too. So, there you go. Dylan, right?
Dylan Davini.
There you go. So congratulations to Dylan. I don't know if we've ever talked to Dylan. I don't think I've ever seen him at Old Timers. So I'll have to make a point this weekend to congratulate him out at the field. So, Donnie, you got the games up. Let's get started, man.
We'll start in the top left part of the bracket. It's Traffic and Moneyline. 6:30 Thursday, first game of the tournament.
So Traffic, young team, right? I know they have one of the Russ kids on that team.
Brendan Russ.
They have a couple lefties, I believe, that are pretty fast and quick to play the outfield for them. Moneyline, from what I've seen so far this year, it looks like they've struggled to pick the ball up.
Okay.
It looks like some of the guys are new. So they got a couple new players they mentioned to the team. One guy's never played 16-inch before, but looks pretty athletic, pretty good. I got money line minus 3.5. I have traffic odds to win the tournament at 100-1. And then I also have money lines odds to win the tournament at 25-1.
Okay.
All right.
I'll
But I
take
do
money
have
line
money
in that.
line in the game. I have money line in the game at 3.5.
Okay. I'll take money line in that. Remember, they still got guys like Brian Davis and Lenny Gonzalo, who's been one of the hottest hitters in softball. I think money line rolls in game one and then runs into a Goodwood right after that. And I believe if money line does what they're supposed to, Goodwood's let me down personally. I've bet on them twice now in 2 tournaments, and they really crushed my hopes. So I'm going to go with money line in that game. So maybe throw some mental off.
Well, I got money line at 3.5 against traffic, and I'm going to put them at 4.5 against Goodwood. From what we've seen out of Goodwood right now, not the best softball. Not saying they can't be good. It's just that right now, from what we've seen, I know they've let you down. We played them. We had the chance to play them at the Westchester tournament. I know they were missing a couple of their guys, but did not look like they were motivated to play too much. So good line. So we got money line going basically into the quarters, is what you're saying.
Yep. Good draw for money line. And now we've got Iowa. It's Chucks and it's Menace in that game. What do you got?
So Chucks and Menace. I thought hard about this one, right? Because Menace is a sneaky good A team. They really are. And if they have their guys, Roach will be out there. They have that Matt. Matt
Scott's a great hitter. They've got
some
Sal playing the outfield. Brian's a good pitcher. Yep.
Right. So they're sneaky good. They could be sneaky good, and they always get an upset or two, I feel, every single year when they play. I know Chucks is a powerful team. Obviously, they're a lot more experienced than most Iowa teams without the glove. Let's look back 10 years ago. This Chucks team has played without a glove pretty much more than anybody, right? So I got to go Chucks. I'm going to say Chucks minus 4.5, and I think it might be high, but I think Chucks offensively has more firepower. Menace is going to score runs. Okay.
Yep.
But it's weird to say. I think in some ways, if Chucks ain't up to their game, Menace can upset them. If that makes sense.
Agreed.
But
that's
based on the firepower, and from what I was told, Chucks is going to have a full squad this weekend. So
it's also Menace. Menace plays at that field a lot. Very comfortable at Genera Park. They play there in fall. They play there in regular season. That's a park that they're comfortable at. I know it doesn't always make a huge difference, but in my opinion, it does. Those guys are very comfortable playing underneath that in Berwyn and familiar territory. And then we'll move down to Whale and BTA.
Hold on one second. So Chucks to win the tournament. I got a 25-1, and I got Menace to win the tournament. I've got Menace at 75-1.
Okay.
So that's what we got there. So pretty good odds on both of those teams to win the tournament. All right, moving on to the next game. You mentioned Whale and BTA. Yep. So what do you got, Donnie?
I would say, man, that's one of the highlight first round games in my opinion. Whale has young, hungry team. Jackson Perry, Chris Rieger, Bo Filkins, very, very good young team with the Barzowskis. BTA, seasoned veteran team. Come out fighting, come out fast, try to put up some runs early and kind of silence Whale. But that's a fighting team. This is a very close game. I would guess it's like 1.5 for BTA, in my opinion. It's going to be a close game.
I got it at a pick.
Yeah.
I think Whale. I just think Whale has too many good major players right now. They have,
they do.
Bo Filkins, Chris Rieger, Jackson Perry, Frank Simon. I mean, the Crawford brother.
Yeah.
One of the
Crawford's good. Mikey Crawford's good.
Yeah. So I got Whale winning the game. I put it at a pick because it's a toss-up. I could obviously see BTA. It's that close to me. I got both of these teams winning this tournament at about 45-1.
Okay.
Okay. The reason why I say that is I just don't know if these teams can put a consistent 5 or 6 games together in a row that it
Sure.
takes to win this tournament. And if you look at the bracket, Wales going to have to run into Chucks in the second game, into money line, into Flash if it
Yep.
goes short. Okay. So the chances of them getting through those 4 games, is going to
You're
be
right.
tough. And they're
You're right.
they're a team that's stepping up in class, I feel, from where they were last year, and they're a very talented team.
Yep,
What do you
agreed.
think?
I would like to see Whale make some noise. Those are a lot of, good friends of mine on that team. BTA is a very good, well-rounded team when their guys are in the right spots. Little B, game changer in left field. I know Whale possesses a lot of power. Little B takes away a lot of that.
Yep.
Moving on, we've got an unknown team to me. We've got March, and we've got the Fighting Squirrels. What do you know about the Fighting Squirrels, Jim, in round 1?
They're not going to be fighting too much.
Why? Why do you say that?
I think aren't they like a Berwyn B team?
I don't know them. I don't know.
So they're the unknown.
They could. What's their odds to win the tournament?
It's 1,000 to 1.
Yeah.
Fighting Squirrels, 1,000 to 1.
I don't know. I don't know the team. I would like to. As soon as we get out there, I might know some of the guys.
Well, what if? Yeah, I mean, I would say 1,000 to 1.
What's March's odds?
I gotta think. Not knowing the Fighting Squirrels, it's hard to put a line on the game. But my understanding is they got
Eskimo Bros.
Who?
The Eskimo Bros is Fighting Squirrels. So Eskimo Bros was in Marshalltown.
Okay,
some of the
so
guys
they're 1,000 to 1.
Yeah.
So they're 1. I've got March minus 8.5, probably 9.5 in that game.
Okay. I will say,
and I give
it's
those
a good thing that they're in the tournament. By the way.
Huh?
Yeah, it's a good thing that they're in the tournament.
100%. This is, I mean, remember when what for you it was just a couple years ago when you were like 21. For me, it was like 20 years ago. So when I first started, you'd play on those younger teams.
Oh, sure.
You get in some of the bigger tournaments, you get to see some of the bigger boys, right? So I think, it's a great opportunity for them to join this tournament.
Agreed.
March, I got to put them at 9.5, though, as I said, and they will be moving on to the second round. I got March to win the tournament. Okay, I got March at 40 to 1.
Okay.
All right, just a tad better than BTA and Whale, but a little bit behind money line and Chucks, and a lot of it has to do with your draw. What I'm looking at on that line and where I'm coming up with these numbers is based on the draw that I see. What is the next line? Next game, Donnie, for you would be Flash and Future. What do you see there?
Future flashback. Future did upset Hex in the TOC. Knocked them out early on Sunday morning. Scrappy young A team with guys that could fly around the bases, hit for power. Unfortunately, they've run into flashback in round 1 at 8:30 on a Friday. Don't think they're going to be missing anybody this weekend. I would like to see them at full strength maybe on the first couple games, but if they are missing anybody, turns out to be more of an even matchup, still got to hand it to Flash and say that they're probably the favorite on this game, probably by 5 or 6 runs.
Yeah, Future had obviously a big win in the Westchester tournament.
Yep.
I think they finished fourth. No,
I think fifth.
They finished 5th in the Westchester tournament. Maybe it was 4th.
5th.
I don't know.
Pharaoh's,
4th or 5th.
Pharaoh's finished 4th. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. So, but either way, had a nice run. Future was great in the dome. They hit the shit out of the ball in the dome this winter.
Yep.
So, I mean, obviously, Flashback is probably one of the favorites to win the tournament. Tough draw in the first game. I got to put Flash at about 7.5, and I'm giving Future credit because I think Future's going to hit a little bit.
Yep. I would like to see that game stay close. I think Future's an upcoming A team that could make some noise in these tournaments.
Yep. And I'm going to put Future based on their performance in the Westchester, and unfortunately based on playing probably one of the top favorites in the tournament to win the first round, I mean, I got to put them at 100-1.
Okay.
Flashback, on the other hand, I think if you were to take Flashback to win the tournament, I gotta say they're a 3 to 4 to 1 odds. So I'm gonna go 3 to 1 odds on Flash.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Next game.
What do we got for our next game, Donnie?
Los Barachos and the Pharaohs on Thursday at 9:30.
Los Barachos, we know, young team. Our boy Rodriguez with his smelling salt. Yep. With his smelling salt. Maybe he'll have the smelling salt out for Los Barachos this weekend. I don't see them beating the Pharaohs. I just don't. I think Pharaohs is a step in class for them. Yep. They might be a couple years away yet, Los Barachos, from being able to, compete on a regular basis at the major level. But, I mean, Look where they've come from. A couple of years ago, they were a B team. Now they're one of the better A teams. They're continuing to get better. Their left fielder's a stud. They've got some nice young kids on that team that hit the ball and run nice. I really do like the Los Barachos. The Pharaohs, on the other hand, they've been an experienced team. They've been a team that's now continuing to get better every single year. 3 years ago, I wouldn't say Pharaohs was a major team. Now you confidently say Pharaohs is a major team. They picked up Johnny Ryan. They added Sambone. They've added some other nice players.
Chris Rogers.
So, in that game right there alone, I've got Pharaohs at -4.5. It might be a little low, but I think Los Barachos, if they catch the ball, they're gonna hang tight, right?
Barachos played Pharaohs in the Westchester tournament in the first round, and Pharaohs, I believe, won by 5 or 6 runs. However, Barachos play a lot of softball. Those guys play in both leagues, and they play outside of that. So they're not coming into this game cold by any means. Their guys play together. I'll see. I'm interested to see who's on the mound for Barachos. I know that Anthony Lopez has been pitching a little bit. He's a stone cold hitter. I'm curious to see who comes out for them and who plays where. But you are right. Pharaohs are the favorite in that game. And then that brings us to, what do you got for tournament odds? They beat them 8-0 in TOC, so 8-0.
So, and I got a line at 4.5, so we're close.
Okay.
I have Los Barachos at 100-1. I have the Pharaohs in the Flash bracket, right? And they have to get through Flash, possibly money line Chucks, whale type thing. I'm going to put the Pharaohs at 45-1.
Okay.
So some big odds out there right now to win the tournament.
And I know Pharaohs might be struggling a little bit in Forest Park. So we'd like to see Barachos put up a fight. We'll go to the next one, Jim. Dirty 38s and the Bullies.
All right. So obviously I'm going with Dirty 38s here in this game. Bullies is a B team. They're an A team now.
Yep. They're a B team from
grass. Yeah. So 30 38s. I put this game at -6.5. 30 38s is a team now that's been around. It's nice to see them getting in more events. I think that Julian Russell obviously is the best player, I feel, on the 30 38s. They also have that left fielder. I don't know his name. Who's that left fielder's name that pounds the ball?
No, their left fielder. The left fielder is I believe he is Washington. I think he plays out with my guy G5, if I'm not mistaken.
Either way, if it's the kid I'm thinking of, he pounds the ball. He hits the ball pretty hard.
They got some good hitters.
They do. And so I'm going to put 30 38s there. I'm going to say 6.5 as the final line with them in that game. I'm going to put 30 38s. Looking at their draw, they run into the Pharaohs and the Flash. I'm going to put them at 75-1 to win the chip.
Okay.
Bullies, Bullies is probably, I'm going to put it 1,000 to 1.
Okay.
Okay.
This is a good opening round matchup. We've got Circus and High Y.
Circus and High Y. Why don't you start and kick it off there? I got to take a sip of my
Sure. If you're sugar-free.
future sponsor of Fruit Punch.
Circus, I mean, largely depends on who's out there. However, a team like Circus, their subs, their backups are better than a lot of teams' main players.
Right.
If you see, Keenan might be back this week. Hopefully, if he's recovered from not sleeping for a while with the baby, then they're going to have Alonji and they're going to have, Timmy and Duff. They've got a loaded roster on paper when everybody's there. Chippy, Dags. I mean, Sherwin, Valdez, what a good team that is. And if they are all there and they're hitting, they're one of the favorites in the tournament. High Y needs to play a great game, have everybody there, stay good defensively because the High Y can hit with anybody. We've seen them be able to hit with any team. They just have to be there defensively, make the plays on the ground. Their outfield is lights out and fast. They just gotta make the plays, and it'll be a close game.
So what is that's your out? Do you have a lineup for yourself on that game?
I would put it a little bit closer. I would say if both teams are full strength, Circus minus 3.5.
So you got Circus minus 3.5.
That would be if both teams are fully there.
Yep. I had Circus minus 2.5. I don't know what team shows up for Circus.
Right.
I would have Circus higher if I know they're going to have a full squad, but they're also a team that hasn't played.
Right.
They probably
plays a lot.
They probably haven't played since the Westchester tournament. I mean, Forest Park's been getting rained out left and right. So when was the last time they even played a game?
You're right. That's a great point. You're right.
I don't know. Where the High Y guys, some of them were with us this past weekend. They've been playing softball. They play in Washington Park. They play, in Forest Park, obviously. They play in other things. They play softball. They're just at different times. The Circus guys got kids. There's just different times of their lives. I think Circus is still the favorite based on their roster, but I can see High Y with the upset if Circus doesn't come ready to play.
I agree. I would like to say both teams be healthy and 100% there for the best possible game at 9:30 on Thursday. It'll be a great one to watch. That moves us to.
Well, stop there. I got to give a line for the tournament. So
go ahead.
Circus, based on their draw and based on what I see, I could see Circus at 10 to 1 to win the chip this weekend. And the reason why I got them at 10 to 1 is because I don't know who's showing up for them. So it's kind of like a sucker's bet. They're probably better odds than 10 to 1, but you don't know who's showing up. So High Y on the other hand, I have High Y at 25 to 1. Okay. All right, you wanted to move on to your butt buddies from Hall of Fame, so let's get into that talk. Why don't you start off with Hall of Fame and Born Divine?
Yeah. So we got Hall of Fame, one of the hotter teams in the game right now, winning their first 2 tournaments. Born Divine is an A team out here, kind of a fringe A team.
They're from Washington Park, correct?
It will be interesting to see Washington Park A team right now. I think it's Hall of Fame's first time playing without glove this year, so we'll see how they stack up defensively. However, I do know they are a little short this weekend. So I think Hall of Fame is still a favorite in this game, but only by maybe 3.5. I'd give them 3.5.
Okay. I don't know Born Divine very much. I don't know their players. I know I've seen the name. They mostly play A tournaments.
Correct.
So I don't get to see them as much. But I mean, they play softball, bare hands year round.
Yeah.
Hall of Fame's got to take the gloves off now. It does, and I don't know. To your point, I don't know if Hall of Fame is basically going to come full strength. So Nate, I appreciate the hat.
Your Rick's hat.
Yes, the Rick's hat. It's in my car, so I actually, I just got it from Kyle. It was in Kyle's bag. I just got it last night, so it's in my car. So, pretty awesome hat. That's why I had to have one. I traded a Team Jagoff hat for it, so it's precious.
Yeah, agreed.
Hall of Fame, yeah, I don't know. Hall of Fame doesn't like, I guess, Uncle Jimmy, so they didn't give me a hat. They only gave you a hat. So, but then again, you sucked their balls all weekend, and I didn't, so there's a difference. But Hall of Fame in this game, I'm going to go with -3.5. Born Divine, I agree with you. I think 3.5 is a perfect line. I think Hall of Fame is probably 75 to 1 odds to win this tournament without gloves. They have a tough draw. I mean, they have, they got Born Divine, then they're going to play Circus or High Y into signature 45s if it holds chalk, right?
Yeah.
So, or Iron Meatball City if we get upset in the first round. So,
right.
They're running into good teams in Chicago that play without a glove, and then possibly into a Hex Fat Kids Impact type thing. Impact's been a sneaky good team too. So, Born Divine, I got at 1,000 to 1 to win the tournament, and I got Hall of Fame at 75 to 1.
Okay. That was funny. Go ahead. The next game, this is all you. I'm not going to comment on this one. It's 8:30 Thursday, Signature and Iron.
Yep. So Signature is I don't know that team, Signature. Do you know that team?
Never heard of them. Great group of guys, I'm sure.
I heard the pitcher tonight in the feed. I heard the pitcher's kind of ugly.
Someone did say I was ugly, but I have a great haircut.
Yeah. No, Signature Iron. This is no layup for you guys. No layup at all. Because I think, personally, Iron just beat Flash last night at the Melrose League. I believe they beat them 8-5. Flash had a good team out there. So it was a big win for Iron. So Iron's coming off, feeling good about themselves. Mm-hmm. Signature, on the other hand, did win the first tournament of the year, and you guys have looked very tough this year. Yep. So I have to go Signature, and I have to go Signature with kind of a bigger number based on you guys winning the tournament. Iron being younger kids, but you guys can't overlook Iron. I'm gonna go Signature 5.5.
Wow. Okay. I love the confidence. Okay. I appreciate the confidence. Here's a great comment really quick from Jake Reynolds. Says, you have a black iron barbell hat, Jimmy, worth way more than that Hall of Fame shit.
Yes, I do wear that hat, and I love that hat. And did I tell you a story about that hat? I was walking into an Italian restaurant on the north side of Chicago, and some kid walking behind me goes, "Hey, I know that hat. That's a black iron barbell. I've actually worked out there before in Marshalltown, Iowa." What are the chances of that in the north side of Chicago, right?
As much as the Flying Squirrels have against March.
Right, exactly. So Signature, I'm going to put you guys probably coming off the first tournament. You got to be a favorite to win the tournament again, right? So I'm assuming you're going to have most of your guys this weekend. I would think. I'm gonna put you probably at about looking at your draw, you got a tough draw,
Tough.
I'm gonna say probably 4 to 1. Okay. Iron, on the other hand, Iron has to play technically you guys and then us or Meatball City into Circus or High Y.
Tough.
Okay.
Very tough.
That's a tough draw for Iron.
Yeah.
I'm going to put Iron at probably 75 to 1.
Wow. Tough draw for Iron.
Well, I don't put them at 75 to 1 because I think they're a bad team. I put them at 75 to 1 because they have to beat you guys, possibly us or Meatball, into High Y, Hall of Fame, or Circus.
Yeah.
Okay. Technically could be 3 of the best teams in softball, 3 of the 4 best teams in softball, right? And if somehow Iowa Hall of Fame sneaks through there, the best team from Iowa. So They have a tough draw. All right. Moving on, Donnie, why don't you look at the next one? I can't comment on it. It's
You
the
got it.
lovely 45 team playing the incredible Joel haircut machine,
Good haircut.
Meatball City.
Good fade ratio here. 45's Meatball City. This will be a determining factor for how the rest of the season will go for Meatball. If they have their full squad there, tough. Can't look past Meatball City. 100%. Good lineup. A lot of guys that like to swing, go deep, try to beat outfielders. This is some of their guys' home park. We play a lot in Berwyn with these guys. 45's, however, powerhouse team. If you guys have everybody, one of the odds-on favorites to win the tournament. It'll be interesting to see what Meatball City comes out with and where they play positionally. If 45's gets hot in this game and extends the lead early, might be difficult for Meatball City. However, if they hang into it, I could see it being a very close game. I would say 45's in this game. If everybody's there for both teams, I would say 45 is a very similar line to us and Iron at probably 5.5 would be my guess.
Okay. And why don't you throw some odds on 45's and Meatball City to win the tournament?
I would say 45's odds to win the tournament right now are probably 4.5 to 1.
Okay.
And then I would say the Meatball City odds. Well, you gave Flash and Signature 4 to 1, correct?
Flash was 3 to 1. I have them as the favorites based on the draw.
Okay. And I would say you guys are 4.5, right behind that group right there.
Okay.
Okay. And then Meatball City probably goes into that same. They have such a tough draw with you guys into potentially us or Iron into Circus High Wide. That is a really difficult draw for Meatball City.
Or Hall of Fame.
Or Hall of Fame, correct. Let's go with a similar line as Iron has and go 75 to 1. Very similar line for both games.
Fair. That's fair. And that's no knock on Meatball City. I just think that, I mean, any team that has to go through that gauntlet would be probably tough.
100%.
Odds to win the tournament. All right. So we'll move on here. What's the next game,
Funk
Donnie?
and Hex. Funk and Hex.
All right. So Funk. Do you know much about Funk?
Funk is an A team out of Forest Park. Have been A for a couple seasons now. Kind of middle of the pack A team. Have signs of being a good A team. Also have signs of being a struggling A team. So I know that they won't put a bad product out there. You would say it's a great draw for Hex if you're a Hex fan. And a great draw for Hex to make a run in this tournament. Hex probably the favorite in this one by a few runs. I would say probably north of 7.5 for this game.
All right. So I had Hex at 8. We're gonna go with the official line of 7.5 for those bettors. Like I said, I don't know much about Funk. I think I've only seen him play once or twice. Obviously, I know. What happened?
They won B Nationals last year.
Okay, so they have a shooter's chance, right?
Sure.
I think Hack committed. Our crazy boy Kurt, Mr. Cow himself, Mr. Moo. We have, Chef Richie, and a lot of those guys on Hex.
The new sheriff.
Mini, the new sheriff in town who lost the money line, and our boy Scahill, right? So Hex minus 7.5. Now Funk, I got to put Funk at 1,000 to 1 to win the tournament. On the other hand, based on this draw that I'm looking at for Hex, I think if they got to play good, right? I mean, you can't play really bad and win all the time in tournaments. I mean, they got to be a 10 to 1 odds, 10 to 15 to 1 odds to win this tournament. Based on this draw.
Yep, very, very good draw. Agree 100%.
So I'm going to go with a 10-1 odds for Hex to win the tournament.
Beautiful. And then they'll play into Fat Kids and Wolfpack, 6:30 on Thursday. What do you got for Fat Kids Wolfpack?
Did I lose you there, Donnie?
No, I'm with you.
Okay. Fat Kids, I really like. They're a tough team. They're young. They hit the ball hard. They swing hard. Angelo, veteran pitcher. You got Bruce.
Yep.
You have
They have a really good top 5 in their lineup. They're top 5, top 6 guys with Macho, who's a great hitter. Scott Gates is a young upcoming stud. Laporte, if he's there, Tony Laporte mashes the ball, and then they go into Noach, and then your guy Skittles. They've got a good lineup. Into Brandon defensively is outstanding. It's a good team. You can't take Fat Kids lightly at all.
So I've got Fat Kids winning their first game by slaughter rule. I'm going to say 8.5. Now, I know they play a Wolfpack team don't look over them, right? They've had some success with the B Nationals. They've had some success playing A-ball. But I think Fat Kids are going to come out. I hope they have their full squad. Obviously, if they don't, this line's going to drop more. But right now, I've got Fat Kids minus 8.5. And that puts them right into the second round matchup with Hex, which is going to be a hell of a game.
That'll be a great. I think that's going to be a really good softball game. That one will be at 2:30 on Saturday. That will be a good one to watch.
Yep. So Fat Kids in Wolfpack, right? I got to put odds on them to win the tournament. So looking at this draw, the only team that would be a top 10 major team that they would run into is Hex. Okay.
Yep.
I mean, just because of that, I think their odds to get to the semis, which would be the final 4 of the winners bracket, is pretty good. So I'm gonna put Fat Kids at I'm gonna put them at 45-1 to win the tournament.
Okay.
And I think they're a team that. They step up in class for them. They were an A team last year, won the A national tournament, right? They retooled a little bit. They got rid of the villain, and I think they're a nice team, right? So 45-1 for them, I think, is a good odds based on their draw, and they're going to have a tough game. I mean, every game's tough in a tournament, as you know, but on paper, their toughest game is going to be Hex to get to the final 4. So, Wolfpack, I'm going to put it 1,000-1 to win the tournament. Okay.
Last game in the first round is Impact and Splash.
Impact and Splash. Oh, our boy Marky Robinson.
That's it.
He's actually going to show up for a tournament. This is incredible. What are the odds of Marky Robinson showing up?
5-1.
5-1 on Marky. That'll be on the board too. Marky Robinson show up, right? Odds 5-1.
Yeah.
Just to show up to the field, he's 5-1. All right.
Nick said no love for them A teams, but great stuff, guys. Tough in the tournament, man. Tough in the tournament when you got major teams at full capacity. For A teams, you got to play a great game to get through some of these guys. So no hatred towards the A teams. Just we're talking about favorites right now in these first line of games. So plenty of love for the A teams. Just tough to place them as favorites.
So I'm going to put Impact. Impact has actually impressed me a little bit this year.
Yeah, me too.
They've got some good players. I've got Impact at 4.5.
Fair.
And that's just based on what I've seen on Impact. I have not seen Splash, but I did see Splash's second baseman this week catch a pop-up. Wasn't that impressed. And our boy Isaiah.
I also seen him eat a piece of cake that was like 6 pounds.
Well, he is Robbie Jr., right? So, I mean, he's the protege for Robbie Graziano, right? I mean, that's who he is.
Bad news.
it's not good for him. So we're gonna go 4.5 with Impact. I'm gonna say Impact to win the tournament is 100-1.
Okay.
And they got a great draw, by the way. They could find themselves in the Final Four, which you can get serious value on that 100-1. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Splash, on the other hand, this is the first probably big event they've had, but if they can get past Impact, they play the West Side Outlaws.
Yep.
Into Fat Kids or Hex.
Yep.
Into the winner of our bracket with us, Hall of Fame, Circus, and Signature. Yep. I mean, that's a hell of a bracket. That's probably the hardest bracket in the tournament, huh?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm gonna put Flash because I know I got Marky just to show up at 5-1. I'm gonna put Flash at maybe 1,000-1.
Okay.
Okay. So we do have 2-bye teams, so we can go over we did talk about Goodwood and Moneyline already, but Impact versus the West Side Outlaws. So if we're just saying favorites advance, West Side Outlaws and Impact, I'm going to put Impact at -7.5 against West Side Outlaws.
Fair line.
That should be right.
Yeah. So that's a good line. It's a very fair line. Impact's going to hit the ball hard. They've got some good talent in that lineup. And we'll see if the West Side Outlaws can hang with them in that game and make some defensive plays.
And I'm going to put the West Side Outlaws at 1,000-1.
Yeah, that's fair.
So top 5 teams right now to win the tournament. I got Flashback at 3-1. I've got Signature at 4-1. You gave the 45s a line of 4.5-1. We have Circus at 10-1. And then we have Chucks and Moneyline both at 25-1. Oh, and then we have Hex too. Hex at 10-1.
Yeah.
So those are your favorites right there. Marky Robinson has a line of 5-1 just to show up to the park. So get your bets in on that. If you can get it out there somewhere, I'm sure there's someone taking bets. Donnie, we cannot pick 45s or Signature. Okay. Who do you got winning the tournament?
Now, we talked a lot about the draw for this event. To win the tournament, I would say Flashback because of where they're coming from, and they've got the good side of the bracket up there. They're going to play Future in the first game, and then they'll go into March, and then they'll play probably another beatable team for the Flashback Standard. So I would say the favorite in this tournament because of the draw, if they have everybody out there, very difficult team to beat, probably be Flashback in this one.
Yeah, so, I mean, just looking at it from the top 5 teams in softball,
yeah,
they will only have to play one of those top 5 teams to make it into the winner's bracket final.
Exactly.
Okay.
Great call.
Where Signature, 45, Circus, we have to play
each other.
Three of those teams
exactly
to get to the winner's bracket, just to the winner's bracket final, and then play Flash. So we'd have to play 4 of those teams to get to the winner's bracket, to get to the final, right? So Flash got 1, we got 4. Big difference. So yeah, I agree. I think I'm with you on that. We just put the kibosh on Flash, though, didn't we?
Good.
Hopefully we didn't jinx him. I don't want to hear it from Bobby Russ all weekend that we jinxed him. So based on what we see, we got Flashback winning the North-South tournament then, because we cannot pick ourselves as competitors.
Yeah, agreed.
So, but based on their draw, they should be in the final.
Yeah,
or winner's bracket final. All right. So that's what we got. We talked about the top 5. We talked about our winners. Anything else, Donnie, that you want to put out there?
Nothing else for me, man. I'm excited to get out there this weekend. Hometown of Berwyn, Illinois. It'll be a great time. A lot of parking. Get there early. Hang out. It's a good park. And we'll see you guys out there this weekend for a whole lot of softball, hopefully.
Yes, and just it's close to my heartbeat town. That's where I grew up, right? So
Yep.
This is my hometown. It's where the tournament should always been. I know the fields ain't the greatest. Hopefully, our boy Joe Belcaster, this rain helped tremendously today. You know that.
Yeah.
I know that. So definitely want to make sure, get out there early. Let's have some fun. Great park to watch softball.
Yep. Yes, sir.
Donnie, with that, I want to thank all our sponsors, the Beacon Tap, Signature Transportation Group, Mom and Dad Water, and thank you for all the comments. We had incredible comments come through tonight. A lot of fun with Team Jagoff, a lot of fun with the Iowa guys. So, Jake Reynolds, no, there is no fences in Berwyn. It's all open fields. So, no fences. The one street, though, is technically a home run, right? On the C field.
If you can hit it on the street, you should walk around the bases backwards.
Right. Exactly. So,
yeah.
Once again, we're signing off, Donnie. So we'll see everyone tomorrow night